All right, let's call the special called November 18th, 2024 meeting of the Leitchfield Planning Commission to order at 4:33. April, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Whitmore,
Here.
Commissioner Mudd,
Here.
Chairman Buckles,
Here.
Commissioner Clemens, Vice Chair Bocock, Commissioner Hack.
Here.
Thank you. Before we get to the minutes, there is a sign-up sheet. If anyone's here to speak on behalf of or against the medical cannabis ordinance, which we'll be discussing momentarily, I ask that you sign in so you can be recognized. Page 2 of your packet are the minutes from the October 14th regular meeting of our commission. You may have had a chance to already review those, but if not, take a quick second and we will entertain a motion to amend or accept as presented when someone gets ready. We had a chance to review quickly. It looked right to you. I know. You're going to say it probably,
That's right.
probably all right as far as you're concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion to accept the minutes by Missy Mudd. Do I have a second?
Second.
Wes with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes are accepted. All right, let's skip on down to public hearing. This is our public hearing on the medical cannabis ordinance that we've been discussing for the last several months about implementation into permitted uses in the city, also amending the definitions. So what you have in front of you is an amendment to Article 1.8 for the definitions that spell out the language that would be used in association with the state of Kentucky's move to allow medical cannabis to be legally sold in our communities. And then the back page would be the amendment to Article 3, which would be the permitted zones, regulations, and uses for the varying types of entities that would be involved in the process of medical cannabis. I think we've covered it pretty well, but now would be a great time for any discussion, if there is any. And if there is not, then we will need at some point to make a recommendation to the city of Leitchfield that they accept this. And should they do that, I believe they are likely to do that tonight.
Hey, Tyler, just to confirm, there is a buffer between school daycare, 1,000 foot, and then we're putting in a church's 200?
No. No, the only
Okay, so
buffer
churches
that's-
did not make, okay.
No. Just the 1,000 required by the KRS for
Got it.
schools and daycare.
Got it.
Wes, we spent several minutes on it last meeting, and basically it was, we ended up basically defaulting to what KRS says.
Yeah.
That, you know, they had gone through the process of how to create it, how to structure it, and after some initial inquiry with others about did we need to be more aggressive with limitations, there didn't seem to really be an appetite for that, so we just sort of decided to go with the recommendation and what KRS allows.
I read in here that City of Henderson was looked at and compared a lot, but, so we just went with KRS, okay,
We did.
Yep.
okay.
Other questions or discussion? I think because of the way this is going to happen with the state, this is the type of thing we'll handle tonight, but who knows when it will actually impact the city,
Yeah.
you know, at all. So I guess we'll find out eventually.
I mean, there's a good possibility or reasonable that it never will affect us at all.
There certainly is a chance. But there's the old adage about the barn door and after the horse is out probably applies here. Yeah.
So what you just need from us is just a motion
Need
to,
a motion to recommend that to the Leitchfield City Council that they adopt and implement these changes, definitions to the zoning ordinance for the city of Leitchfield.
what is it, I'm sorry?
Just
Okay.
a text amendment. Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we move this to the city council, and let them vote on what we've presented to them.
Thank you. George makes a motion to submit the proposed text amendment to the city council. Do I have a second?
Second.
Missy with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, that will be our recommendation to the Litchfield City Council, where they will take that up, I presume, at their next meeting. Old and unfinished business in front of you, you have a draft, we'll call it a draft, of an ordinance regarding condominiums for the city of Litchfield. We've been talking about this for a few months as well. Dave, would you like to speak toward this?
Put together what we discussed, folks, and the other one, I'm not real confident in copies of it, hang on. And since Tim's not here, we'll just use his. It's a fairly simple, we use the definition that the state of Kentucky requires us to use for condominiums, and that's in red on Article 1.8 definitions. Family structure is amended to eliminate condominiums from a multifamily structure, and I'll get to that in a minute. And every time you go through these things, we go through this old ordinance book, we have questions about what is done, so I'll get to that in a minute. The amendment to Article 3, we added it to proposed conditional uses. This is a conditional use. It will be weighed as, and this is what Darrell, and this is what we thought to really cover this, because it may be a situation, a site which is not appropriate. Therefore, we figured that a conditional use was certainly the way to handle it, and that's what you thought too. And that was our recommendation. And so that's the way we worded it, and we put it in Article 3 for 3.8C. And if you got your book there handy, you can open it up. 3 is, let's see, bear with me a second. Permitted conditional uses, and that is the section that we have in the 3.8. What have I got here now? Let me look here. 3.8.4, isn't it? I'm looking at the wrong one.
Should we go into, go back this way?
That's what happened to me. Anyway, the two zones are R2 and R2A. I'm going to get it here in a second. Three, 8, 7, 3, 8, 4. Three, 8, 4C is, will be on 39 of your actual ordinance. And that's permitted conditional uses under single-family medium density. And the next one is 3841C. And that is single-family high density. And Tyler and I, when we discussed it, we've gone over this thing several times, we thought that was the best uses with conditional uses. And as we said, there'll be areas that will not, where they shouldn't be. And that allows them, if it allows that situation to occur. And so we've got that. So hope that answers your questions.
In essence, it removes a little bit of ambiguity. We've talked about recently, the word condo gets thrown around a lot, but it doesn't, I think with the exception of one, we don't have any actual uses of that currently. So, but the word condo and townhouse get commingled, but this allows for some specificity between the two and just kind of models the state's guidelines on condominiums as well. So Dave, is it council's recommendation that we adopt this as presented and then recommend we present it to the city of Leitchfield?
I think this represents what we discussed and what we agreed upon would be the best way to handle it, yes.
Discussion? Or questions?
What is the recommendation we actually state? Recommending to the city council, we're not approving it.
No.
Recommending.
Just to
We're
adopt
just
it?
going over, it. We'll have to publish this in the
So
paper
is-
and go through the
Do we need to
process.
act it all in?
No.
Not tonight.
Not
okay.
tonight. This is for your observation to see whether or not we put it together like you want it.
And basically, eventually, the recommendation would be an amendment to an ordinance, the
Yes.
09199.
Okay.
All right.
There is one question that I want to bring up when I read this. We left out townhouses. Townhouses probably should be defined in our ordinance. They should be allowed probably in these same zones in the way I look at it, but I'm sure other people might have different opinions with permitted uses. Townhouses have separate freestanding walls and they have different owners.
Are they defined in our ordinance?
They are not.
They should be, I think.
I thought they should be, and when I went back and looked at this, I kept finding, and there is no definition for townhouse. So I think that we ought to do that.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation.
And what I'll do, if it's all right with you, I'll try to put it together and for our next meeting, and we'll have it together. And there's several definitions that I found from other cities that have defined townhouses, and they've done a real good job with it, I thought. So I don't know enough about townhouses to know what's what, but I read those and they were very clear, so it kind of helped me. And I'll kind of paraphrase those, I think, and let you look at them and see what they set forth exactly what a townhouse is. But a townhouse is different than a duplex.
Mhm.
And it's different than a condominium.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we really need to attach that, because I think people will be interested in building townhouses because they're very popular now.
Yeah.
Some of them are very nice, as you know.
Mhm.
You get to Lexington and Louisville and some of the larger cities, Bowling Green, they've got a lot of townhouses in Bowling Green.
So Tyler, we will schedule a hearing on the condominium ordinance, and Dave, you'll have a mock-up of definitions amendment on townhouses?
Townhouses, and we'll put permitted uses as a conditional use, but add those too. And what I think we ought to do is just add them to the same two zones. And I think it would work.
Okay.
If we can
sense.
agree to that tonight and write it up, then we can just change this to say
Yeah.
what they want to, and then we can schedule the public hearing for the December 9th meeting.
Right.
But if you all want to review it again, then it's going to delay it.
You all willing to defer to council and staff on the definition? Schedule the
That makes
hearing.
sense.
Can we get a draft of that between now and
I'm
then?
not an expert on townhouses, so I'll use the definitions that I thought were really good that some of the other cities have put in there. And they defined them very well, I thought.
Once you get that drafted, I
I'll
think the
do that.
consensus that I'm hearing is there's no reason to slow down.
Yeah.
But the sooner we can see it, we at least have a chance to pump brakes if we need to for some reason, which I don't envision us
I'm gonna do
doing.
the same thing I did with the cannabis ordinance. I'm going to email it to all of you. Is
Good
that
idea.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that worked out real well with the last one. I'll just do it that way.
As
That way
long
you'll have
as,
it
as
plenty
long
of
as
time.
we're good to go, it'll have to be submitted to the paper by the 26th.
Yeah. That's what causes us our problems. That paper has to have it so much ahead of
Yeah,
time.
that's
That's
true.
Yeah.
Causes, you know,
That's
if
not
you're
that
not
long.
really, as Tyler says, if you're not really on the ball, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
And so it's-
I can't imagine us ending up in the ditch on that, but, so just use your best judgment and we'll try to roll those into the same public hearing. But if you see something, when you get the definition, please say something to me and we'll go from there.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. New business. Tyler, any new business?
No, we don't have anything, and of course, with this being special call, we can only discuss the two specified items on the agenda. So
And just as a point of order, will we have to have a regular November meeting, technically?
no, since our regular meeting fell on a holiday, this constitutes as having our monthly meeting. That's another thing that I was looking at in our bylaws, but I can't discuss that really, but
There was conventional wisdom for a long time that you can't cancel a regular meeting, you can just not have a quorum. But, you know, because they're scheduled, but having a special called meeting certainly gets our business done but that might be a discussion to have with a legal scholar at some point in time, whether you can actually cancel a regular meeting or not.
We're not supposed to have a meeting on a holiday, so that was, that's what, Tyler and I talked about that, and we decided we were all right.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Kendall has a motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Second.
Tim with the second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at